And welcome back to another show. Dun dun dun.
One the only.
Paul Gomez. I don't know if you know me or not, but this is my son. Oh, right over there. Oh, that way. There you are. And this is our third episode of Unchained. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're still trying to get figured out. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? These are test runs. We're really going to start kicking off the real shows next week, but we want to get out there and figure some of the things out. We definitely got some topics to talk about: conventions, marketing, fan art, and today we're testing out the 2-area kind of thing. We're still new to the whole StreamYards. George, how you doing? Glad to have you here. I'm still trying to figure out how to show comments and whatnot.
Yeah, good job. You showed it. Hey.
My son was doing most of all that stuff last time, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But we got a good show. I think we got a few good topics to talk about. Feel free to chime in if you want. One of the things I do want to mention before anything else is really that great signing we had at Irving Mall with Collected. That was their third brick and mortar store, and we got some cool shirts. I don't know if you can see my kids. He's got the same shirt on. I don't know what he's doing. Just looking about. Show your shirt.
You're a bird.
But it was a great tabling. Had some good fun. Enjoyed talking to some people. Met some amazing people. Met Mark Walters. Met man, I really can't remember everyone. My memory's so bad. It's just horrible. But I mean, we had so many fans. I gave away so many sketches. It was hot and sticky, but I mean, it was really fun getting out there and talking to people. Yeah, I mean, Fred and Mr. Ben Dunn was out there. It was such a great day. It's one of those things that you don't know how it's going to go, especially with table signings and grand openings. You go out there, you hope for the best, and it definitely was a fun day whenever we went out there with Collected. So I want to mention that. How did you like it?
It was fun, and it was hot, especially right now.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what's going on with your audio. You're going back and forth on me.
I think,
but yeah, it was definitely hot, nice, bright, and sunny. We were under the skylights, and that was probably one of the main reasons. And of course, there were a lot of people walking back and forth. But like I said, you never know, especially with those signings, what's going to happen or how many people are going to be there. There were tons of great people. I had a lot of past customers come by. And of course, Dylan was there. He was out there trying to get free stuff, which again, we got some free T-shirts and I was handing out sketch cards. Some stickers were being handed out, but that's one of the fun things is getting out there to interact with people, and that leads to that first conversation, which is conventions. You know, you never know what to expect whenever you go to a convention. You never know what to take with you or how much, but it's always kind of a guessing game. You never know how many people are going to go through the door. As a creator, you kind of got to go do your research and figure out how it went last year for that convention or the year before and the area. And of course, one of the biggest questions I get from new creators is, how much should I take? You know, how much product should I take and what should I take? Right, Dylan?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing out there, just kind of going back and forth and having fun.
You got to see the comment.
Yeah. You got to see the comments.
I ain't got no money.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're always going and running around and talking to people anyway. But
exactly, that's how I get free stuff. I like that.
Yeah, buy something.
I buy stuff with my charm.
Yeah, well, no, you do. You always go around and try to get some stuff, trades, and all that good stuff. And that's one of the fun things about it. You get to meet new people. You get to trade and go buy a few things if we make some money, which we've been lucky to do to make a penny or two. But again, to that point of what to take out there, especially if you're a new creator, I tell people to add up all the figures going in and kind of have a certain figure in mind of how much you're trying to make. I call it my break even point, if you will, and that's usually the cost of the table, the cost of the gas to get out there, the total cost of if you have a hotel and food and whatnot. It's kind of my break even point, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to make on that day. Of course, whenever you're doing a signing, it's not usually, you don't have to pay for the table as much or going that far away. So you don't have that higher expense. But if you have a break even point, because some cons charge $200-300 per table, you have a break even point of about 400. You definitely want to check your inventory that you're taking with you to see if you're going to be able to make that 400 back. And that's kind of a big thing. A break even point to me is really a combination of everything that goes into it. And and that's really one of those things that I make sure to tell the new creators, hey, if you're taking comics, that's great. There's a lot of people that are going to buy your comics, and it's harder of a sell, especially if they don't know the titles. But there's other things that you could take with you, keychains and art. One of the things I'm looking into doing is getting fan art behind me as well. Fan art brings a lot of people to the table. I know there's kind of a back and forth between whether people want to take fan art and take that attention away from their brand new original comics, or if, that fan art is going to bring some people to that table. And I found that it really has for me. I've started to do drawings and sketches, and it's been working out really well, don't you think? Yeah. Very conversationalist today, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So what do you think about the conventions? What do you think that people should take with them to conventions?
Sleeping bag.
Sleeping, hardest working kid in comics right there. But seriously, I mean, what do you think sells at convention? I mean, you've got a different point of view than I do, because you're out there talking to people and seeing where other people go to. What do you think sells?
Art.
Fan art. Anything else? Do you see anything while you're walking around talking to people that sells?
If there's a celebrity, anything that goes like their character that they play.
Yeah, you're going back and forth. I don't know if it's your phone or not. But yeah. I mean, I can understand that if there's a celebrity kind of stuff, if you have something that kind of relates to them, that definitely sells. If you have a nice key comic that can show and pop, but definitely whenever you're selling your books, you want to put them on presentation and kind of have them out there so people can see it. I like to definitely have some of my foil covers out there to kind of bring in some of that attention. I've also got me a self-made spinner rack, if you will, to kind of bring some attention that way as well. But having stickers or sketch art is something that kind of brings people to that table, and it opens that door to that conversation. I like I said, I've been starting to give away some sketch cards, and one of the things I do is while they're looking through it, I mentioned, hey, I'm a brand new creator of comics, and these are my comics over here if you want to check them out.
Over and over and over. Non-stop every day. Even in sleep.
Yeah. And I bring my son so he can sleep and we can watch him sleeping.
And they can take videos.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt, but then again, I mean, it's one of those things. You got to figure out how to get a customer to the table, and how to sell your books. You know, one of the things I definitely tell people is to perfect their elevator pitch, if you will, a pitch that's only going to last a few seconds. Because if you have a pitch for your book that's going to take a lot longer, then you're giving that customer a lot of attention, and there might be other customers behind it. Now, that's not to say you want to shortchange anybody at all. You know, I like to spend as much time with any one customer as I can, but there's also I guess a sales skill of moving it along as well. So so I tell people to perfect their elevator pitch just to make sure that they get their point across, but also continuously get the movement going as well. And it's great to have plenty of products, whether it's fan art of your book, you know, keychain stickers and whatnot. Small
T-shirt.
this and that. T-shirts, yeah. I'm not exactly a big fan of shirts because they cost a lot. But if you can keep that cost down, and if you can find a way, hats. Yeah, hats cost a bit too, but maybe we'll get there sooner or later. One?
What?
I didn't hear you. What was
I
that?
said one day.
One day
One
we'll be
day.
able to buy everything we need. So what do you want to talk about?
The world.
The world.
I don't know.
Getting back to
Talk
school?
about movies. Oh,
You want to
God.
talk about movies? We went and saw the Meg.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, we were walking up to the Meg to go see it on my birthday, which was great. And you actually wanted to go see Oppenheimer, which I was kind of surprised.
I would love to. You got to take there. That's way too far away. I'm sure I can find it somewhere. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, that elevator pitch does thing. You know, TikTok's famous because it's really that attention grabber, those few seconds. And if you can perfect that elevator pitch, then you can get that point across faster, just in case that person wants to see what you got and then move on, because you might be able to get that person's attention. But yeah, the Meg was good. What'd you think of it? I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was fun to watch.
Yeah? Was it worth the money? Yeah.
I'd still rather see Oppenheimer.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see Oppenheimer. I definitely want to see that. You know, there's, again, a lot of people saying that it made a good amount of money, which was kind of surprising that all these other movies are kind of not doing as well. And then Barbie and Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom all kind of did well right after all these other movies didn't.
I can't wait. You know I can't.
For the
really
Blue Beetle?
Good.
Yeah, that's this coming weekend, I believe, isn't it?
What's today?
It's the 16th, so it's going to open on the 18th.
I think it's like on the 18th. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully Blue Beetle does good. You know, there's a lot of talk whether it's going to be the first of the new DC universe or if it's not going to be part of it at all. Now, they were saying Flash was the ending of the DCEU, and that Superman Legacy is supposed to start Gunn's version of DC, but he's also said that the Blue Beetle will carry over into it. So it's kind of it might be there, it might not be, and I think they're kind of waiting to see how well it works to see if it's actually going to stay in or not. Now, I don't know, though. They might not. If it doesn't do well, they might not put it in the new DCU.
What is Blue Beetle?
Hey,
Watch,
I
next
don't
time
know.
put in Booster Gold.
Yeah, now there's not supposed to be any cameos or anything like that in here, so I doubt there's going to be any Booster Gold in there. But I could be wrong. I definitely know a certain shop owner out in Killeen, Texas, who's a big fan of Booster Gold. We were out there at America's Heroes, and that's Killeen, Texas, and I actually did a sketch for him while I was there, and his favorite character was Booster Gold.
Mr. Gold.
Blue Beetle, yeah. So what else do you want to talk about? I mean, we were talking about conventions, we're talking about movies. What else? You wanted to talk about school, right? Going back to school. Everyone's headed back to school now.
Yeah, it's kind of very tiring. I got a class my last year on like that, and it's just doing this. Like that's all it is. This.
Just sitting there.
Yeah, it just keeps. They just say what you always say. So, and they said like the big project, like going on, doing what I do every other.
You're going back and forth on the audio.
I think it's because I'm moving back.
Well, stop moving back.
Okay, so the big project is what they said is going to a mall and doing what we basically do almost every other.
Like the table signings. So you're doing a project like that at school? That's awesome. So you got some insight.
Yeah.
Do you think that school starting up affects like the comic sales or like the comic movies and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you and your friends talk about comic movies and comic books?
Sometimes, not a lot, but
yeah. From time to time.
Even some of my teachers talk about the movie. They don't really, but I know that the Blue Beetle we were talking about a couple of days ago. And I've talked to my theater teacher about Oppenheimer, stuff like that.
That's awesome. So, keeping on the subject of comics and school and stuff, I didn't really have that many teachers that brought comic books in or had them around the classroom that much. But, I've heard you talk about your teachers and how they like comics. So, is that different? Is that an interesting thing that you have a teacher that might bring a comic or might have a poster of a comic book there?
So my theater teacher loves comics, and I know he has like 4 books behind his desk. Like on his wall, he has like the Secret Wars poster, a whole bunch of other posters. He has like pops all around the class. And we talk about Marvel stuff whenever.
Has he ever told you what comic book store he goes to or whatnot?
I don't think so. I think he might have told me once. I forgot.
You should definitely ask him. I mean, I think one of the things that comic books is lacking nowadays is that connection to the kids. And, I brought it up several times saying how I try to get my comics aimed towards that age. Nowadays, I think there's more teachers that relate to comics more than back in my day. I think it'd be a great kind of connect if we as creators could talk and reach out to the teachers and say, hey, what can we do to not only improve the relationship between you and the comic book industry, but also you and your classes in the comic book industry? Do you think that'd be something that they'd be interested with?
I don't know.
We should definitely ask them. We should ask them and let other creators find out what we found out about it. Because I think that's a different avenue. I know one of the things that me and you have talked about is maybe talking to some libraries and getting signings in there. So it'd be interesting to see if we could get our foot in the door as a career day into like high schools and stuff. But like you said, you're doing a project that you're doing signings at like a store, right? Maybe there's an independent that could help y'all out with that project.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Sam. Maybe Fred Kill. Maybe
Fred Kill. Yeah, Fred. Yeah.
You should mention it to your teacher and then talk to one of the independents about it. I mean, there is one that lives in the house, but I mean that's.
I'm sorry, who are you talking about?
Yeah. So what else do you want to talk about?
You said you want to talk about what was something about marketing.
Marketing, yeah, definitely. We want to talk about marketing. I've had a lot of friends talk about that recently, including Sam and Tyler Carpenter. Sam was a big influence on me at the beginning of my career. Whenever I decided to make it a comic, I really attached myself to four YouTube streams, and Catch the Craze was one of them. Tyler Carpenter's Draw and Talk was another one. And they've been talking about marketing and specifically targeting in marketing. And I was talking to another friend of mine, Josh, and he was telling me that he asked how I think my books market to a certain audience, or what audiences they pick up. And I was mentioning them like Bushibu seems to get picked up by younger ladies a little bit more than anyone else. And I think it's because of the romance part of it and other stuff. Yeah, there is that library in Greenville. I've heard about that. Yeah, but I mean, they were talking about specifically targeting a certain audience, and I don't exactly understand that myself. I guess it's because I think that the audience for comic books is small enough already that if you're going to start uh, targeting a smaller audience, it's going to be that much harder. But that's me. I mean, you do what works for you. I know he also asked me about PTSD, and he was like, "What's audience for that?" And I think it's simply men between 20 to 40, but also anyone who's got any close ties with the military. So my books, I think all four of the titles that I have out kind of hit a different market. And whenever I'm at conventions, if I see younger women, 20 to 30 or so, I try to pitch them Bushy Boo Circus a little bit more, because I think that romance atmosphere, that love triangle between those characters, and the 60 pages of the two combined kind of feeds into them a little bit more than the PTSD does. But I don't exactly understand the whole marketing thing, and I'm definitely going to look into that. But man, there's like so much work out there that I'm constantly flooded with stuff. Like right now, I'm looking into doing web pages, and web pages are a lot of work. And of course, we're looking into the conventions that we're at. I mean, we have Arlington coming up. We might go into, I think it's GigaCon. We're on the
Oh
fence
yeah.
about that one. And then
Oh,
College Station, and then I think there's two other ones right after that. So it's always one thing after another. And of course, I've been drawing and the fan art stuff. So it's like, whenever you get into marketing, especially if your target marketing, it's a little bit harder, and it's more research, and it's a lot more work. And I'm not saying that it's not something that a creator shouldn't do. I'm just saying that I think the audience for comics is small enough as is, that it's harder to break it down into an even smaller audience and target them. But I guess that's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
I think got it, but I think stuff they.
Get a little closer.
I think you got it, but I think people want more stuff that they already know about,
Right.
big two, and all that, and more fan.
And I think that's the biggest hurdle, especially for original creators, is most fans want what they know. They want Spider-Man and Batman. They want you know My Hero Academia, and they want all that stuff. So that's definitely a big obstacle, you know. And like stuff like PTSD, I thought it was going to be a harder sell because it was a one shot, and it doesn't have like a character that you're constantly following. Like Bushibu is going to be 12 issues at least, and it's got these characters like Zahara, who's a tiger trainer. So you got those big, beautiful white tigers you throw out there. Then you got Lance, who's the ringmaster, and he's got that big costume. So you got these characters that are kind of brighter and shinier, and I thought that would be a little bit easier. Yeah, but it seems to me like I said, PTSD was my biggest seller, and I didn't really think that it was gonna be. I also made an 8-page comic or 6-page comic that I haven't actually put out, but it just got finished, and it's called Cherry Blossom. Now this is actually a romantic kind of story, and I had gotten asked to do it to get put into an anthology, and then it kind of got dropped. But I went ahead with it because I had showed it to a few girls, and they absolutely loved it. So I was like, you know what? I don't know romance. I think I just did the best job that I thought I could as in writing. And whenever I was writing the script, I wanted to make it unique because I wanted to do something unique with the paneling and, of course, the story behind it. I wanted it to touch people, but I wanted to do something artistic with it. And San Espino, who did PTSD, did a great job with the art in there. So I don't know how I'm going to market that or put that out there, but that's one of those things that I want to show people and show them my diversity. But if I target an audience, I feel it's going to not be seen as much by most people. So it's like, do I try to target with Bushibu and these other ones kind of not so much, or do I just say, hey, if you like comics, check this out? What do you think?
I think say like comics, because
Yeah.
I mean, if you're targeting one thing, then they might come in, but they're but if you target
Back
everyone.
and forth.
What?
There you go.
If you're targeting one person, like one category, then there won't be many people there. But if you target everyone, there's gonna be more. Then you might get more. But
I mean, that's what I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone's a little different. If you like targeting to a specific, if you got one title, it's easier to target to one demographic as well. But having a little bit broader of a base, it's like you try to get anybody who likes comics and say, hey, do you like comics? Check this one out. Let me show you how you might be interested in it. I mean, granted, if I see someone who's got a circus shirt on, or Ninja Turtles, I probably would show them Bushibu before PTSD. But that's just one of those things, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
hey, I think the phone's yelling at you.
It is yelling at me. I'm not worried about it. That's okay. So what else do you want to talk about? We were talking about movies. We were talking about marketing and targeting. We're talking about conventions. Do you want to talk about our guests that we're going to have on next week?
Yeah.
Who are we going to have on next week?
Drum roll. We need a thing.
You need a thing?
We're gonna have. Got his last.
Gonna have what?
I forgot his last name.
Charles Boyer?
Yeah, we're gonna have Charles Boyer from Geek Out.
That's
Geek Out.
right. That's from our sponsor, Geek Out Comics and Games in Burleson, Texas. He's going to be here talking with us, and we're really excited to have him on because he is one of those the managing people there at Geek Out. He hosts a lot of stuff, and he gets a lot of get-togethers. He takes it out on the road for the conventions with their nice, beautiful van, which hopefully we'll get a screenshot of that. But one of the things I definitely wanted to do whenever I got into the industry was talk to the LCSs. That's really what brought me into comics. And Charles has been a great confidant. He's read some of my books before I put him out there, and he's going to be on, especially to promote a new show that we're going to try to enroll into the YouTube channel, which is going to be talking to a few of the people out there and seeing what they have to say. So he's definitely going to be on, and we're going to hear not only his perspective of LCSs and bringing in independents, but also, his perspective of conventions. Because I know he goes to not only comic conventions, but game conventions too, board games conventions and whatnot. And it's a unique thing to get a different perspective, because I don't go to the different, like, the horror conventions I haven't really gone to, or anime conventions, or the board game convention. So that's definitely going to be something to get with him about. Yeah, and you're always having fun with them at the conventions that we're at, and whenever you go to the store.
Yeah.
So I know you can't wait for that. What else is there?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well,
Oh.
like I said, that these 3 episodes are definitely test runs, if you will. Well, we really want to add a few different shows to the YouTube channel, kind of create some content. We want to bring some independents and talk to them. We brought Carissa on one day and talked to her about her Kickstarter kind of thing, and we'll probably revive that. We brought Sam on last week, and we got to pick his mind. So bringing in guests is definitely something that we want to do. And like I said, we're going to have Charles here next week from Geek Out in Burleson. Hopefully we'll bring out some of ASAP Imagination, which is one of our publishers publishing some of our digital content. And we want to talk to them about that digital platform that they have going on. But, we're not going to limit it to just those. I definitely want to talk about different aspects. And like I said, having Dylan here as a teenager, we get to get that teenager perspective. So maybe we'll have some friends of his on, or even go to some other communities and find some teenagers around there. I think that would make a great show that we could add on to the network or the YouTube. I'm not exactly saying it's a network, but to add some content on and to get some insight into other stuff. So we want to do that, and we definitely want to do a show of of the indie people who are having campaigns as well. We just don't know how to get that going and stuff. Like I said, this is our 3rd, I think, stream that we did. Our 3rd?
4th.
I think it's our 3rd. Well, 4th with Chris's. Yeah, and Chris's, was just about her project, which she just kickstarted a project. If you're interested in that's Worthy Chaos Redemption. That's issue 4.
I thought it was 5.
She makes so many so fast. It's great to see her products coming out so much. And one of the things we definitely want to do is bring in some more content from conventions. We just get so busy, it's hard to remember that. So Dylan is gonna not only go out there and meet and greet with everybody. He's gonna start doing a little bit of video from conventions and kind of show them here and show them what we got and show them what other people sell, and kind of show the audience what's going on with conventions. Maybe we'll get a backstage peek and talk to some of the promoters as well. So those are some of the plans that we got going. Originally, I didn't want to start these shows until September. I started them early because Dylan really wanted to. And whenever I get to spend time with my kid, whether it's drawing, hanging out at conventions, or doing shows, I'm definitely up for it. So What do you want to talk about?
Bum bum bum. The world.
The world.
Yeah. Mag.
Did you meet anyone new at the convention this last time?
Not really.
Dog
And
days.
I didn't really talk.
You didn't talk to people. Daniel. It was Daniel Scott who was the Superman impersonator.
Oh, I guess we talked. He was a nice guy.
Closer. Closer. You
Yeah, I
mean,
guess we talked to him. Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were a few great creators out there. We got some of the comic books which we're going to look over. We got some Queen Cobra. We got to sit down with Fred, and he was showing us some art. And then we were sitting down with Mr. Dunn, Mr. Ben Dunn, which is always
Y'all were.
amazing.
I weren't.
Well, you were at the table, but you got to go roam around afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Sam.
So, I mean, we got a lot of things coming up. Obviously, being back in school is a big thing for everybody. You know,
Now the brush fire.
Aliens are invading, and nobody really cares. So we're not going to really talk about that much. We talked about AI a lot last time, and we'll probably talk about it in the next episode next week. I want to see what Charles thinks about it. But you know, it's been a real hard month and a half for me, and getting over some stuff, trying to get back into the groove of things. Like I said, hopefully that these shows are going to be each week. We're going to have topics and conversations and guests. And if you ever want to come on, anyone ever wants to come on, let us know. We're welcome to have you. We're going to end this show early just because, but is there anything else you want to say?
Look, wait, other way. 2.0.
Yeah. Is that what
one.
It is? Your version 1, that's 2.0?
Yep. Up there.
You need a haircut, kid.
What you talking about? My hair's amazing.
I don't remember which convention's next. I think it's Arlington. Which Arlington's going to be a big one. And next week, like I said, Charles is going to be here talking from Geek Out in Burleson. Definitely want to send a big, huge thank you to Collective Comics. You know, opening that big, bright store in Irving Mall, which is huge. On ASAP Imagination. Don't forget, if you want to get one of our digital books, they've got it on Any One World. Yeah, it's that other corner. I hope everybody has a great week. And like I always say, my name is Paul Gomez at Paul Gomez 090, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you're having a hard time, if you have any questions about creating comics, look me up. I'm always on Facebook. If you just need to talk, just send me a message. I'm always here to chit chat. If you're having a bad day, let me know. Yeah. Who are you?
The one, the only, Dylan Moore, aka Hardest Work.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all have a great week. Bye.
I gotta wave for the 5 seconds.